How are you even supposed to prepare for Jeopardy anyway?
In July of 2024, I appeared on the game show Jeopardy, fulfilling the kind of lifelong dream you'd expect the son of 2 librarians to have. All things considered, it went very well. I won 9 games before losing my 10th game on a tragic math error.
I haven't watched Jeopardy since 2018, maybe. Like that, Jeopardy's a show you watch with like your grandparents. And you never know the answer to any of the questions, and neither do they. So I never understand the appeal of Jeopardy as a show. Like, I think it's fascinating to see these people know just really obscure knowledge, right? Like Brady said, I love watching Jeopardy. Very unsurprising, Brady. Very unsurprising. You telling me you like Jeopardy is like somebody telling me that the sky is blue. That's like very unsurprising. What I do want to say is, in my years of watching Jeopardy, I have only known the answer to 3 of the questions. And it's always the questions that they don't know. Like Jeopardy contestants will know very obscure things, but get who won the last year's Super Bowl wrong. Like, they just read books, bro. They just know shit. Like, how are you just a thesaurus of knowledge? They don't teach them the topics. It's not scripted, chat. These guys are just geniuses. Like, this guy's a fucking smart-ass motherfucker. Like, somebody said autism. Maybe it's like a savant thing, but I doubt every contestant on Jeopardy is autistic. I think they just know stuff, bro. How? Like, they walk in and the topic will be like random quotes from the 1300s. Who said this? Oh, I know. Bank. The son of the king in this time. Who the fuck would know that?
Well, tragic for me. I think Jay liked it. One of the most common questions...
Bro only won $1,799.
One of the most...
Yo, that's what sucks about Jeopardy. In Wheel of Fortune, even if you lose, you still win the amount of money you ended the game with. In Jeopardy, if you're not first place, you get like $1,000. Fucking wipe your ass with $1,000 in today's economy. You could give somebody $1,000. That's a lot of money. You're flying there, brother. Staying there. Yeah, they're probably paying for it. $1,000. It's taxable income.
Common questions I got after appearing on Jeopardy, other than why did they let you?
It's okay. $1,000 individually, not as bad. What pisses me off is shows like America Says, bruh. America Says prize. How much do they win? $15,000. Whoop-de-doo. 15 grand split amongst 4 people, bruh. Are you serious? A potential $15,000. Lame. That's not, bro, like, I think if you get on a game show and win, you should get, like, a year's salary. Like, I understand America Says isn't the most popping show of all time, but it's like any of these weird fucking knockoff game shows that are on the Game Show Network, bro. The prize is like 10 grand and there's like a team of 5. 2,000 a person, maybe. Like Family Feud, you could win and still not get 20 grand. You could win and still get $5 a point and walk home with $300 fucking dollars and your dick in your hand. Like, what the fuck? That's terrible. $4,000 is life-changing money. No, it's not. What? 4 grand is not life-changing money. Most people can't even pay off 10% of their student loans. $4,000 fucking dollars. $4,000. It helps you. It's helping you in the next 3-4 months. It's not life-changing money. What is life-changing money? A life-changing amount of money to win is like $100,000. That's life-changing. That's, you pay off your student loans and you could put a down payment on a car or a house. Like 100 grand's like, damn, that's money. You know? No, it's not. I'm saying life-changing in the fact that it's changing your life. Not life-changing like, oh, it's going to make you rich, right? But like it helps, it changes your life and day-to-day finances significantly.
How do you prepare for Jeopardy? Jeopardy has been around for over 40 years, but one surprising thing to me is that there are a lot of people out there who seem to believe that Jeopardy will give you some kind of study guide for what will appear when you're on it. This is not true, which is fortunate for me because I hate studying. Until you step foot on the
And how do you just know that shit? Like, what? How do you just know stuff? Like, can we look up a random Jeopardy question? Like, I step up on the Jeopardy board, the IT guy, published first, state of emergency, TV, a bill in Congress, and unending. And TV isn't going to be like, which friend, what is the name of Monica's brother in Friends? It's not like pop culture quiz. It'll be like, who was the director of the original Bill Cosby show? And like, and they just know.
Trebek stage, you have no idea what you're going to be asked about. Think of all those famous viral videos where contestants...
Tom Landry perfected the shotgun formation with this team. And that's one that they don't know. What?
And struggle to
the Bills?
Identify basic things about...
You just know that.
Rap music or sports. If they gave us a study guide ahead of time, don't you think somebody would be able to identify who the Dallas Cowboys are? So this raises a question.
Oh, you guys were just wrong. That's just throwing out fucking random shit. There was like 3 people that said the Cowboys. Everybody was saying the Bills.
How are you supposed to prepare for Jeopardy? I decided to make this video as a sort of guide for what I did. Keep in mind that I'm not an all-time great of the show, so take what I say with a grain of salt. With that
all-time great of the show, bro. You won how many games in a row? I think if you win Jeopardy one time, you have enough knowledge to be able to tell me how the game works.
In mind, I proudly present the definitive guide on how to win up to, but no more than, 9 games on Jeopardy.
How much money did he win? 9 games of Jeopardy? I feel like averagely they're winning like 10 to 20K an episode. Isaac Hirsch, winnings Jeopardy. He won more than 200K. He's one of Jeopardy's newest must-watch players. Yo, I wish there was like a fantasy league for Jeopardy where you could just bet on players. I feel like you could tell, bro. There's motherfuckers that step up there and you just know they're gonna suck. And they're still geniuses. You ever see an episode of Jeopardy where like one guy answers one question and he gets it wrong? I love that. He's just standing up there 30 minutes of runtime. He's a placeholder. He's just... They end the round negative. You ever see that shit? Because you could go in the negative. Yo, they should make it like high risk, high reward. You have to pay Jeopardy if you end in the negative. That'd be awesome. Like, everybody would be so scared to answer the questions. You're just like... And going into Double Jeopardy, we have Ryan with negative $10,000. He's just fucking shitting himself. There's like a 7-foot security guard standing behind him. He's just nervous.
Presumably, if you're interested in appearing on Jeopardy in the first place, you're at least a little interested in learning things and you know some stuff already. Although if you're not interested in learning things and you know nothing and you still want to appear on Jeopardy, I respect the hustle. It can be intimidating because Jeopardy can ask about literally anything. While Jeopardy can theoretically ask about everything, it can't literally ask about everything. There are certain things Jeopardy simply won't ask about because they're too obscure to reasonably expect contestants to know. For example, Jeopardy basically never asks about one of my favorite authors, the British spy novelist Eric Ambler, because not many people read his books nowadays and he's just not considered that important. So there's really only a limited...
Okay, like they're still asking such obscure things. What do you mean? They don't ask about Eric Ambler. Dude, they're asking about like random passages of Shakespeare. Like just, I know he's popular, but like who knows that?
Number of things that Jeopardy will expect people to know and therefore ask about, and that limited number of things we'll call the canon, with one N, not like a weapon. There's no definitive guide as to what's in the canon, but the more you watch Jeopardy, the more you get a general sense for what it is. There are certain things that come up so often that you must...
What's like a thing that you would really need to know? History. Historical knowledge is really important. What else? Like how law, but that's history. That like encompasses history. Sports, I feel like they don't really ask a lot about. Random pop culture stuff, but like really really like artsy-fartsy pop culture shit.
Must know them as a prerequisite for appearing on the show. World capitals, Shakespeare's plays, the presidents and where they're from, etc.
The presidents and where they're from. Yeah, where was Woodrow Wilson born?
One way to figure out what Jeopardy will ask about is to look at what they've asked about in the past. There's a wonderful website, j-archive.com, that has
recent Final Jeopardy. This author's wish to use different ink colors to represent multiple point of views was granted in 2012, 83 years after the novel's publication. Gun to my head, that's going off 1 million times before I get that. This author showed that abysses may exist inside a governess. A heroine? Heroine? What the fuck? This author showed that abysses may exist inside a governess. A heroine who was a commonplace spinster. Heroine. Am I saying that wrong? That word is heroin. The drug. Heroine? A female hero. They should change the name of that. The spelling of a female hero is the same spelling of a drug that people inject in themselves with dirty needles. Why are they spelled the same? Heroin doesn't have an E. Well, maybe let's change the word a little bit more than one letter. Heroin. I would have read that shit as heroin. I did read it as heroin. First Ladies. In 1941, she served briefly as co-director of the Office of Civilian Defense. Who would know that? Who would know that? That's a $100 question. That's easy. That's easy. 500 hard. On June 3rd, 1948, the 200-inch Hale telescope was dedicated atop this mountain. That one actually seems more reasonable. Let's go to a recent episode. Current season. We're going to go to the most recent episode. Midnight's Adults in Children's Literature. I'm in Sephora without my glasses. A minor distraction, rock, rap, and remember. Nothing But a G Thang is a classic collab between Snoop Dogg and this man. Like that one, there's a world where I could guess it. Nothing But a G Thang, Dr. Dre. Okay, then let's go. Rosa Parks sued this duo for using her name on a 1998 hit, but it still made Rolling Stone's list of 50 greatest hip-hop songs. I don't know a rap song that used, what was the answer? Outkast and Cameron. Empire State of Mind by Nas was a hit for Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. Is a classic by the three-letter man who feud with Jay. I got that shit! I got that shit! That's $1,000. Oh my God, wait, actually, I know some of these answers. All right, let's do one that I wouldn't know. Use your sixth sense. The Sixth Amendment to the Constitution says the accused has the right to a trial that is both public and this. Private? Speedy. Fuck.
As basically every game of Jeopardy that has ever been played. If you want to know whether Jeopardy will ask about a thing, let history be your guide. It's worth mentioning that the people who currently make Jeopardy have stated that they don't want people to be able to prepare just by memorizing J-Archive, and thus they continue to include more wordplay and vocabulary categories, things that are harder to study for via rote memorization. Some of the most dreaded Jeopardy categories actually have the smallest canon. Think of opera. Have you ever seen an opera? I haven't. I'm a complete Philistine. But the number of important operas and opera composers Jeopardy can actually ask about is pretty small. It's under 100 in my estimation. And once you start to figure out what those operas are, you start to be able to tell your Madame Butterflies from your Carmens from your...
Bro, but then you're just learning stupid shit that you're never going to get asked about. Like, you're just studying, bro, like just walking into a library and reading shit. just to mind meld, dude. Just sponge information. I'm training for Jeopardy. I'm just going to go sit in on a 3,000 level class in college.
Or Il Scagliatti's, which isn't an opera but some gibberish I just made up. One thing that separates Jeopardy from other trivia game shows is that there's a general tilt in the question writing towards things that are academically important. This means that you could learn a lot of what Jeopardy asked about if you'd just been paying attention in school the whole time. Unfortunately for me, I was too busy drawing comics where Captain Falcon and Kirby were best friends, so I had to come by this knowledge some other way. That other way was Quiz Bowl. Quiz Bowl has often inadequately been described as Jeopardy but with teams and longer questions, and sports for competitive children who can't run good. There's a considerable overlap between what Jeopardy will ask about and what Quiz Bowl asks about. And
this guy is such a nerd, bro. Yeah, and he won $200,000 for it.
Years of playing Quiz Bowl have stuck in my mind lots of facts that were very useful for Jeopardy. Finally, there's the matter of effectively learning things you didn't already know. Intellectual curiosity is only going to get you so far. Eventually, you're going to have to learn things you don't find particularly interesting, and for that, a lot of people turn to flashcards, especially apps like Anki. Jeopardy Masters Season 2 champion Victoria Gross has said
what about Quizlet?
that she has over 200,000 flashcards in Anki, which is wild.
Yo, y'all really have ChatGPT now, bro. Cheating on homework used to be so fucking hard, man. Like, having to look up shit or, like, make a Quizlet, bro, and you used to have to reach back to, like, a guy 3 states away from you that made a Quizlet in a similar class, and only, like, 4 of the questions match, and then you gotta go fucking find another one, and it was fucking so hard to, like, dude, cheating was so hard. Like, it used to be a struggle, bro. It was a grind. Yo, physics problems, yeah, you had to buy Chegg. You had to buy Chegg and talk to the fucking random guy that's trying to solve the problem in real time for you.
I did make a little over 1,000 flashcards in Anki in preparation for the Tournament of Champions on things I didn't already know. So did it work? Well, it got me a couple questions, including a crucial daily double on the alphabetically first of the 7 hills of Rome. Thank God I had this flashcard.
Since there are 7 hills of Rome and only 2 seem to be notable, go ahead and name all 7 hills of Rome. Oh my God.
Hills I don't want to die on. Alphabetically
first of the fabled 7 hills of Rome. Yo, the second he sees that shit, he goes, yes.
First of the fabled 7 hills of Rome, it boasts the Basilica of Santa Sabina, which dates to the 5th century.
What is the Aventine?
Aventine is correct, yes. You had $6,000. Well done.
But there were also a number
Yo, I love, dude, when they do that and then they pan back and there's just the chud with negative $5,000.
of times I saw a question and thought, oh, I have a flashcard on this. And that was about as far
And then they get so many wrong that they just stop answering them.
as my brain got. So they're not perfect, but they will help you eventually remember things that you don't know and aren't particularly interested in.
What? Oh my God, you have to jump the buzzer. Oh my God, you have to get, I didn't even think about that. It's not just studying, you have to get good at being like.
As the ancient philosopher G.I. Joe
Do you think they're testing for PEDs at Jeopardy? Dude, I would take so much Adderall before I walked in. Where your eye, you don't blink and you're just like.
once said, knowing
What's a PED? Performance enhancing drug.
is half the battle. The other half of
You just start taking steroids for Jeopardy.
the battle is the buzzer. In your average Jeopardy game, all 3 contestants are going to know around a third of the questions. So whoever is fastest on the buzzer is going to get those questions, regardless.
That is not that is not what I've seen. Every contestant's going to know a third of the questions. I feel like is just not true. I feel maybe not a different third, maybe the same third, because every episode, bro, there's one guy that just knows nothing.
Of who knows more about a subject. This means that being fast on the buzzer is just as important as knowing a lot of things. For a brief explainer on how Jeopardy's buzzers work, contestants can't ring in during a clue. When Jeopardy was rebooted in 1984, contestants could ring in whenever they felt like it, which led to chaotic gameplay and a not particularly fun viewing experience. In 1985, the current rules were introduced, where contestants have to wait for the host to finish reading the clue before they can buzz in. This rule change surprised the hell out of my father when he showed up to tape his episode in early 1985. The giant game board in front of contestants has 2 vertical white lights on either side of it that light up when the buzzers are cleared and contestants are able to ring in. Generally, this happens precisely as Ken finishes his last word, so contestants are theoretically able to time this and anticipate when to buzz in. Not me though, I just use the lights. I surveyed everyone else in the Tournament of Champions, and apparently I was the only person who just used the lights. Everyone else went off of sound. So maybe you should do that. Either way you choose to do it, timing is crucial. I attributed my decent buzzer skills to years of playing video games, and other contestants have said similar things. You can try practicing at home by watching along with a clicky pen, or by playing rhythm games like Guitar Hero. The principle is the same. I'm aware I'm showing how old I am by using Guitar Hero as an example. Some people have said that you should buy a buzzer to practice with at home. Because I was worried about embarrassing myself in the Tournament of Champions, I am ashamed to admit that I did this.
This is why I quit. Too many sweats. Too many Jeopardy sweats, dude. Timing the button. What are we, fucking track sprinters, dude? Trying to time the gun on a 100-meter. Just buzz in when you know the answer.
I do not think it is any better than a clicky pen or video games, and it's kind of expensive. However, if you want to buy one, it is reasonably close to the buzzers used on the show, though not exactly the same. This one's from Delcom. There are varying schools of thought on how to hold the buzzer. I've seen contestants use...
Yo, we're getting into the tech of how you hold the buzzer. Bro, I thought he was going to tell me how to study for this shit. Half of preparing for Jeopardy is being able to press the button faster than everybody else. I feel like I ain't need training for that, though. Like, I'm not trying to be cocky, but, like, my lack of Jeopardy winning capability is that I don't know any of the fucking answers. I feel like the easiest thing is just going... I mean, bro, you're going against, like, 40-year-olds. They're unk compared to you, right? Their brain's slow, right? Their neuroconnections aren't firing as fast as yours. They're on the first half sentence of the question when you're already done.
One hand, two hands, gripping onto it for dear life. I've heard of a contestant who just left the buzzer in the...
I'd be white-knuckling that shit. Your hand just starts turning purple. Ken's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, next question.
Holster on the podium because his hands were shaking too bad to actually hold it.
What?
I've heard of a contestant who just left the buzzer in the holster on the podium because his hands were shaking too bad to actually hold it. Ultimately, I don't think it matters that much. Do whatever is most comfortable for you and will allow you to press the button as quickly as possible. The button is...
I love their stories, too. Be like, next, we're meeting Ryan, who comes all the way from Denver, Colorado. Nice to see you, Ryan. So it says here that you shat yourself in the 3rd grade. Could you tell us more about that? Yeah, Ken. So it was actually just... and they go on, like, some random story that makes no... dude, and it gets really funny when they have to do the intro for a guy that's won 15 times. So they actually make up shit. Like Ken himself said that, who's the current host because Alex Trebek is dead now, rip in the chat. Ken said because he won like 20 times in a row that like the latter half of his interviews were just fake stories. Like they weren't real. He was just making shit up because what else how many cool stories are you going to tell the audience from your childhood or adulthood before getting on the show?
Pretty sensitive, and you do not need to press it hard. One finger or thumb will do. So practice the buzzer, but also be prepared to not get in. At some point in your show, you're going to know some things, buzz in, and not be the first person in. This is extremely disappointing. Every time it happened to me on the show, I looked like I had received a mild electric shock. So be prepared for the disappointment, but also be prepared to move on quickly from it. I really want to emphasize this. At some point, something bad is going to happen, and you're not going to have time to sit and mentally process it.
Dude, but I kind of want them to drop this professional facade, you know, of, like, Jeopardy as a whole. Like, I would love if he pressed the button, he doesn't get it first, and he just, like, audibly gasps. Just like, fuck. They talk shit. They do like a halftime. Like, you know, after in like Ink Master, when after they tattoo, they go back to the room and they just talk shit to each other and they're like, your tattoo fucking sucks. Dude, the creasing on that shit was terrible, dude. Oh, by the way, you're fucking ugly. Like some shit like that. That would be TV. Be like, Mark doesn't really know the answers, but he gets in the opponent's head.
It is fair to say that I'm close to the...
What the fuck is Ink Master? A show where they tattoo people. That's it.
last guy you should listen to when it comes to wagering strategy. I blundered hard on wagering in the game that I lost, both miscalculating my wager mathematically and even still wagering way too large an amount. In preparation for the Tournament of Champions, I studied wagering strategy much more intensely, and then immediately came out and wagered an incorrect amount in Final Jeopardy again. Ken Jennings after the game asked me if I had meant to wager that amount, which is his nice way of saying, you really have no idea what you're doing, huh? So believe me when I say, wagering is hard. Let's talk about daily doubles first. Over the past decade, Jeopardy contestants...
Yo, I'm going all in on all of them. Daily double, max. Max out. Sir, you're at negative $5,000. Max out. Max out. You're only allowed to wager $2,000 because you're negative. All right, whatever, I'm allowed.
...have gotten hip to the idea that daily doubles are inherently much more valuable than any of the other questions. This explains...
Let it ride! You somehow, even though all the questions are round numbers, you somehow have like $45.50. Let it ride. I use some of it to order pizza mid-game, sorry.
...of Jeopardy now, as contestants jump around the board hunting for daily doubles, infuriating your grandmother at home. Unfortunately for Grandma, you should also do this.
See, bro, I love that. I love that when you just see somebody in the negative, bro. Just getting everyone wrong.
Keep in mind that even if you get a daily double in a category you don't like, you're denying your other two competitors a chance to get it. As we've already established, I am not a strategic genius, so my general strategy was dumbed down to a level where even I couldn't screw it up too bad. I would start from the third clue in the category I liked the most, work my way down the category, and then select the third clue in the category I liked the second most. Repeat until all those clues are gone. And if there are still daily doubles out there, go through all the second row clues. Daily doubles are basically never in the first row. One mistake I'll see even good Jeopardy players make is they'll only hunt for daily doubles in categories they're comfortable with. Once the high value clues are gone in those categories, they'll start to select low value clues in those categories rather than hunt for daily doubles in the other categories. You want to find the daily double even if it's in a category you don't like, because you're denying your opponents the chance to get it. You don't have...
Oh my God. And then you could only put like $100 on that shit. Like you could put as little as possible if you're not confident, and then they just can't get it. Wow. There's so much strategy that I never thought about. I always thought it was just the winner was always the smartest guy.
You don't have to wager much. The minimum bet is $5, symbolically chosen because it's what contestants could buy a house for in 1984.
It was a joke.
As to what you should wager on daily doubles, it's way too situational for me to be able to give you any real guide. I will say that I think the internet is obsessed with James Holzhauer-style aggressive wagering on daily doubles to a degree that I don't think is helpful for your average Jeopardy player. If you're 90% accurate on daily doubles, go nuts, wager everything every time. But most of us are closer to 50% accurate on daily doubles, and going all in constantly is not a winning proposition. It's also just not that necessary.
That's what you think.
For most Jeopardy players. Be smart. Consider the score, how close you are to first, if it's close to being a runaway game, etc. But for regular Jeopardy play, constantly spamming the all-in button is just not necessary. If you are interested in doing a true daily double, you definitely want to do it in single Jeopardy, because it's way easier to come back from a failed true daily double in the first round. Finally, there's my nemesis, Final Jeopardy wagering. They make you do math on television. It's a horrible deal. Some are calling it the worst deal. But there are things you can do to prepare. First of all, do math on paper. One thing that ended up kind of being an issue for me is that it had been over a decade since I had done subtraction on paper, and I just kind of forgot how to do it. So practice that. Wagering from first place in Final Jeopardy is actually the easiest, because it generally follows the axiom that it's better to lose.
Damn, bro. I don't really do subtraction on paper anymore. Chat, give me two numbers that aren't 6, 7. Like a long number, bruh. Not 45. 5,843 minus, let's not make it a negative number, 4,780. So don't you go like, oh fuck. Wait, damn, bro. Like I would just do this in my head. Like in reality, I'm going 220. 220 makes this 5,000, and so just I have to add 220 to 843. So it would be 1,063. But I don't know how to do this on paper anymore. I know you would go like this. So I would go this would become 7, this would become 14. And then, so that would be, oh, fuck. Wait, no, right? Yeah. Am I doing it right? How do you fucking subtract on paper? No, I know the answer, chat. I know the answer. That's right. Yeah. And so, because you need this number to be higher. So 3 minus 0 is still 3. 14 minus 8 is 6. This is 0 and this is 1. 1063. That's how you do math on paper. Yeah. Is that not how you guys do math? That's how I was taught. If I'm like multiplying, like say it's like 85 times 43. Ooh, wow. I know you multiply these two first and then add, you do like, you have to multiply them like that, like that, like that. So it'd be like 85, 8 times 4, 8, 16, 24, 32. So it'd be 3200 plus 20 with a 0 plus 6, 8, 16, 24 with a 0. So it'd be that. Wait, it'd be that, and then 15. So it'd be 5, 5, 6, 3. Is that right? Yeah, you do like 3 times, you do like 8 times 4 plus 2 zeros, 4 times 5 plus a 0, 8 times 3. That's right. I know that's right. That's not right? No? What? 85 times 43 is 3,655. I was right. You guys are just dead wrong.
By getting final wrong than it is to lose by getting final right. That way you control your own destiny. Mathematically, this means your wager should be second place's score times 2 plus 1 minus your score. This is what's known as a cover bet. Even easier is if you already have more than double what second place has. Congratulations, you've already won the game. Try not to mess that up. Wagering in Final Jeopardy from second place is where things get...
Oh my god, did that guy bet everything and then lose? Oh, because he was so confident?
Wagering in Final Jeopardy from second place is where things get difficult. 99% of the time, first place is going to make the standard cover bet, meaning the only way you can win is if first place gets final wrong. This is a really important principle to keep in mind. It means that going all in, or nearly going all in, is rarely a good move unless first has almost double what you do. There's a lot of math involved based on what proportion of first place's score you have, and we're not going to go into that right now. But I want to assure you that I definitely know and understand all of it, and the only reason we're not covering it is time constraints. It's actually easy for me, and I definitely understand it now. As for wagering from third place...
No, because that shit is complicated as fuck. Because if you're in third, second, or... If you're in third place, you just go all in. But if you're in second, you have to know what the first has. If you're in first, you have to know what second has. And then you have to bet based off what you think they're going to bet. And then still try and put yourself in a winning position even if you get it wrong.
I wasn't sure where else to put this, but you should probably practice quickly reading and understanding Jeopardy questions. It's an advantage to immediately figure out what a question is asking for, so you can spend the rest of the time remembering the answer and focusing on buzzing in. Typically, questions will use words like this or these to point you to what they're asking for, so look at lots of questions and practice quickly parsing them. There is the matter of actually being selected to appear on the show. This is no easy thing to do, not least because...
Yeah, and they're always smart. I'm assuming there's some, like, prerequisite rounds, right? Like, do you have to win something before going on Jeopardy? Because there's never just, like, a straight-up dumbass on Jeopardy.
Because there's a huge element of randomness to it. Jeopardy allows you to take their online test, aptly named the Anytime Test, at any time. There's some mystery qualifying score that will pass the test for you. Nobody is sure of what that score is, but whatever it is, it must be higher than what Emma Stone keeps getting. If you pass the test, you can be randomly selected.
Wait, did she say she applies
higher
every
than what
night? Emma Stone applies to Jeopardy every year.
Stone keeps getting. If you pass the test, you can be randomly selected for the next round of auditions. I want to stress this. You can nail the online test and not go through to the next round. They only take a small percentage of qualifying people through, and it's random, so don't be discouraged if you have to take the test multiple times. I did. My appearance on the show was the result of an increasingly rare in-person audition. I think most of these are done over Zoom now, and the next step is an audition where they do a more proctored online test with you, just to make sure you didn't blatantly cheat on the first one. If you pass the mystery qualifying threshold on that test, you can be selected for the final audition, where they simulate gameplay with
Oh my god, dude, that sucks. Imagine getting through like 3 rounds of auditions and then not making it.
you and do a brief interview.
Or imagine getting through 3 rounds of auditions, making it, and then ending the game with negative $6,000.
The purpose of this final audition is not to see if you're the greatest Jeopardy player who's ever lived. It is to make sure that you won't look like a psycho on television. I did a couple of auditions, and I saw a number of people, okay, let's be honest, they were all men, come in trying to prove they were the smartest guy in the room. This audition is not for that. You have already passed
Oh my god, so if you come in cocky, they just won't let you in?
both tests, so they know you're reasonably smart. Just seem friendly and approachable, and that will go a long way.
Wow, so if they don't like your personality, you could be better than everybody else on the show, and it doesn't matter.
Do not try to crush your opponents in the simulated game. For one thing, the people running the audition choose who wins on the buzzer, so you can't crush your opponents. Assuming you're selected to appear on the show, you'll go to the studio and tape. If you can, try and get a good night's sleep the night before. Just know that when your time comes, the taping will literally fly by, and it will be over before you know it, so try and enjoy it.
I mean, it's only like a half hour, right?
You're on Jeopardy! That's pretty fucking cool. If you win, be ready to play again almost immediately. They tape 5 episodes of Jeopardy in a day, and the mental strain of that much—
Wait, what? So if you, that makes sense. So they're not just like spending a half hour each day on a set. So when he won, he played 5 games in a row.
Jeopardy is something you should also prepare for.
And then they just make him change shirts?
Watch multiple episodes in a row, or play multiple games of J-Archive in a row. Be sure to change your shirt in between games for the full experience.
Wow, so it makes it seem like it's a different day. You literally finish, and then 10 minutes later, you're on the next day's episode. Damn, so even the longest running winners are only on Jeopardy for like a week in like real time.
This barely scratches the surface of how to prepare for Jeopardy, because the boring answer is to just be an intellectually curious information sponge that retains just a little about everything. There are a lot of great resources that I haven't mentioned, which I'll include in the description below. Also, I guess I should tell you to like this video and subscribe in case I ever decide to do this again.
Yeah, dude, fucking love this guy. Isaac Hirsch, goat of Jeopardy. When I was 13, my parents took me to opera for my birthday. Hated it, didn't know to tell them. Spent a fair amount of money on the tickets, so I had a great time for the next 4 years. We went to opera for my birthday. I'm always cleaning up on opera questions when I'm watching with my friends now. Dude, I don't think I've ever seen a 30-second snippet of an opera.
More than anything, I encourage you to take the Anytime test if you're the least bit interested. It was a great experience for me. I met some wonderful people, played some fun games, and
Should we take the Anytime test? Dude, I'd fail that. How long would that test be? Anytime test Jeopardy. I just want to see the... Dude, you're probably going to have to fill a bunch of shit. Yeah, I'm not taking this right now. Maybe one day. All right, I got to piss real quick, then we're hopping to the next video. Yell me down.